FOMO. Who doesn't love FOMO? Artificially limiting your supply of stock so that you can drive customers to a get in quick to get it mindset. Now, I've been a victim of FOMO, still am actually, and courtesy of Games Workshop, of Warhammer, I see a box set and I decide, I want this one now, in my possession. Probably won't be painted for a few years, but at least I have it. And there are the incentives to a lot of these, launch boxes, battle force sets, the army sets, etc., where you are getting them at a discounted price compared to getting any of the miniatures separately. So instead of having to pay $500 for a bunch of miniatures, you only have to pay $400 instead. Yes! I saved $100. Take that. Haha, I'm very good with my money. No, I'm not. But it seems like Games Workshop is now applying this FOMOing, not a word, don't quote me on that, technique to a certain type of product that you would think they would still constantly have a ready supply of, so that it's never out of stock. And that seems to be Combat Patrol. So there are a few Warhammer channels that I follow, and one of them is Allspecs Tactics. I really like Allspecs Tactics videos. I mainly go to that channel for a lot of news and all of that, and funny enough, that channel is what introduced me to the main retailer that I buy a lot of my Warhammer stuff from, Gap Games, because, as much as I love the Lady Malice model, I'm not paying almost $80 on the Warhammer site to buy it when I can get it for about $62. Granted, I don't think it's worth over $60, but if I had the choice of one that's $80, one that's almost $20 cheaper, I'm going with the one that's almost $20 cheaper every time. So I saw a post from Allspecs Tactics saying that they were informed that Combat Patrol Imperial Fists has a available while stocks last banner attached to it, meaning that once it is sold out, they're not going to be replenishing it. That's it. It's over. Even though, the individual minis are, as far as I know, are still available to buy, separately. But they just won't have it packaged as a Combat Patrol instead. And then having noticed as well that this available while stocks last was also applied to the previous two Space Marine Combat Patrols that came out recently, the Raven Guard and the Salamanders one. And that got me thinking, okay, maybe this could be only happening in the UK and maybe the US. No, it's the same here with Australia. The Raven Guard and the Salamanders Combat Patrols available while stocks last. The Imperial Fist one has yet to come out here because it was, weirdly enough, delayed. So it's so funny when they had the whole here's the Raven Guard, the Imperial Fists, reinforcements, Aethon Shan, Raven Guard Combat Patrol, Lysander. Just Lysander. There was no accompanying Combat Patrol for the Imperial Fist character. Weird, I know. So I had a look and I thought, okay, is this just now going to be a thing with Combat Patrols? Because I know there's the constant looming rumors that 11th edition is on the way. So probably eventually, as all Combat Patrols, they're going to be replaced by something else, whether it's a better one, or whether it's a worse one, whether it's one where it doesn't matter, no one cares. So I had a look at some of the Combat Patrols that came out this year. At the moment, the Black Templars, the Space Wolves, the Emperor's Children, Thousand Sons, and World Eaters Combat Patrols are all temporarily out of stock. Of the ones that are available, and also stuff that is yet to come out that is currently available to pre-order, so stuff like the Astra Militarum one, the Tyranids, I think League of Votan, Grey Knights as well, those ones don't have available while stocks last. They're just there. Just normal, just combat patrol, that faction, or that army. That's it. And then I had a look with, because at time of recording, the Drukhari and the Krieg Combat Patrol, they're coming out soon as well. But neither of those have the available while stocks last banner attached, unlike with Imperial Fists. Like here in Australia, those 3 combat patrols, I believe, are all coming out at the same time. Or maybe the Drukhari and the Krieg one are coming out a week after. But they're all currently available to pre-order here in Australia. But only one of those has available while stocks last. And it's weird because, while not really, I'd say not really officially, Combat Patrol is kind of viewed as like, this is your starting point. If you want to get the bare minimum of points to start an army, go with the Combat Patrol, depending on like how many points is in that box, because it's very like inconsistent. I know the upcoming Krieg one, I like the Krieg models in there, they're really good, but I know point wise it's very shocking, it's not good. Combat Patrols, it feels like it should be at 500, but a lot of them aren't. Like a lot of them are just weirdly just halved for some reason, so it's really bad. I know there's also, you can't just fit a whole bunch of shit into one box. It's not everything's gonna fit, so you just have to fit what you can into that box to make that Combat Patrol. But no, I just find, it's weird because like a lot with the community, it's always viewed as like the Combat Patrol is your best way to start an army. If you're not going to start with like an introductory set or a beginner set, if you want to start with an army, go with the Combat Patrol. That's probably the best way, because you're getting these minis at a discounted price compared to having to buy them individually. It's like, oh wow, like I look at the Space Wolves one and it's like, okay, if I want the Space Wolves one, I'm going to have to buy the Blood Claws separately, the Wolfen separately, yuck, the Wolfguard Terminators separately, and then the Wolfguard Battle Leader separately. So you'd have to buy 4 separate things. At least maybe 2 of those are about $100 something. So it's about 280 Australian for that Combat Patrol, even though it's out of stock at the moment. But yeah, it's the best way of getting a bunch of these minis at a discounted price, and the best way to start at least like, depending on points, half of a standard like Warhammer game. Like I said, I've said this several times before. On the app, 1,000 is like the starter of making your army at 1,000 points, and typically Combat Patrols should be aiming for 500. So if you really like it, you can get 2 of the boxes. Doesn't help that they're adding characters into these boxes, and I'll get to that later, talking about a new Combat Patrol that got announced. So it's weird with, it's mainly these 3 recent Space Marine ones. I'm not sure what's going on there, so I'm now going to assume that we still have 3 more that have been announced, and I'm fairly confident that only 2 of them will have the same available while stocks last, and that's probably going to be the Iron Hands and White Scars. They have yet to get their new stuff out and their Combat Patrols out, so we're still waiting on their characters and their Combat Patrols. Again, with the White Scars, that has the new character in it, unfortunately, so... but I'm not sure why they're limiting, like, the supply of these Combat Patrols in particular. But particularly when you look at the minis that are in those boxes, you could make an argument for some of them. I know here in Australia, like, every, like, at least maybe once or twice a year, using, like, the Raven Guard Combat Patrol as an example, once or twice a year, I will see, like, the Jump Pack Intercessors just temporarily out of stock. Like, there's somewhat of it, like, a popular, like, box to buy, and I love the Jump Pack Intercessors. They're great. I think they were the first ever Blood Angels I painted, I believe. It was either that or the Gravis, the Gravis Captain with the bolt rifle. It was one of those two were the first Blood Angels I painted. So, but yeah, jump pack intercessors. Once or twice a year I'll see out of stock here in Australia. If I look at like the Salamanders one, maybe Agdrax, Agastone, the character, maybe I'll see him out of stock. Rarely. For the Imperial Fist, it's a maybe on the Terminators, maybe on the the Stern Guard, I believe it is, or the Command Squad, one of them, or maybe it's Stern Guard Command Squad, whatever. Very rarely I might see one of those box sets like sold out temporarily. And then again with Iron Hands, nothing really. White Scars, again, nothing really. So I don't know what's going on here to say. Is it typical they're not Ultramarines, so they don't care? They're Space Marines, so they do care, because Space Marines gets all the love. I just don't know why in that one particular they're limiting the supply. Who knows what GW is doing nowadays, huh? You know, you know what I'm saying? But speaking of combat patrols, a new combat patrol, and it's Space Marines again. Woo! Woo! Come on. Anyway, combat patrol Ultramarines. Yes. So, in this box, you get 3 Blade Guard veterans, 5 Reavers, 5 Intercessors, 3 Aggressors, and a named character, Chief Librarian Tigurius. Again, stop putting characters in your combat patrols. Stop it. But, you know, it's so funny that they've described it as just like, it's a versatile spread of units that give you hitting power, durability, and agility all in one package. And I'm like, yes, I guess. When it comes to that, yeah, you've got some Gravis Marines. You've got 2 lots in Tacticus, or 3 if you count like Tigurius, and then you got 5 Reavers and Phobos armor. So, yeah, I guess it's a bit versatile when you say it like that. They're all infantry though. Could chuck a vehicle in there. To be fair, like the upcoming Imperial Fist ones is just units as well, but I think just from what's in that box, it's a much better combat patrol because you're getting 5 Intercessors, I think 5 Heavy Intercessors, 5 Terminators, and then the 5 Stern Guard. So I think those are great. Although, like in this one, you're getting Aggressors and Blade Guards, and they're great. Whatever. Don't care. I think the only thing that's really good about this box is the newly announced upgrade sprue for the Ultramarines. Apart from the helmetless options, which I really kind of just... I don't care. I really don't care about. Everything else in this upgrade sprue looks fantastic. I think I really dig everything here, especially the helmets, the 2 helmets with the plumes on them. Whoa. Yes, I eat it up all the time. You know, just carve out the Ultramarine symbol on them and I'll stick them on something else. Put them on my Blood Angels. Who cares? I do think it's funny that they've put as a helmet with the laurels on them, the laurels of victory on them, which is funny because it's like, that's not necessarily an Ultramarines thing. That could be for anyone, but I guess it's typically associated now with Ultramarines. But no, I think from what is in here. I'm liking a lot of it. I think, you know, it's good. You know, give this kind of love more to the other factions if we're doing some upgrades throughs. Like, come on. But no, that is it. What are your thoughts on this whole weird what they're doing with certain combat patrols, like making them available while stocks last? Like, it's not like it's not like it's like, oh shit, we've now only got a limited supply of jump pack intercessors, so like in the Raven Guard one, we've got to limit that, and it's like, oh, we've got a limited supplies of ATVs. Damn it! I know that people really love the ATV. No, I don't think so. It's a funny looking mini. I don't like it at all. So I don't know what's going on. Could it be something to do with manufacturing? Like, who knows? There's probably some reasons they just don't want to tell anyone. I feel like they just don't want to make. It could be just like a fear thing. Just don't want to make people afraid. It just, especially when Space Marines are the biggest selling point of Warhammer. So it's just like, well, you like Space Marines? Well, this is all we have left now. Because, I don't know, Frank lost the molds for the war suit. So I know people love the funny looking not dreadnought, but you know, you can blame Frank for that, for losing the mold, so we can't make any more. Sorry guys. Honestly, like, I'm joking, of course, but if the molds for the war suit went missing, I wouldn't care, because I don't like the war suit. It's just, again, it's, Mum, can we have a dreadnought? We have a dreadnought at home. The dreadnought at home. Like, that's the war suit. It's not good. It's a stupid design. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this going on with Combat Patrol? Your thoughts on the Combat Patrol Ultramarines and the new upgrade sprues? Yeah, as usual, Space Marines. Woo! That's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Catch ya.